This is Chuwi Minibook X N150, and here you can see its box, and here is the configuration of this laptop. And here you can see we have 10.51-inch display, that is 1920 by 1200 pixels, and here is the adapter of this device, and it is rated at 36 watt 12 volt 3 ampere, and it is a pretty good adapter, I would say, and lightweight as well. And it is a type C based power adapter, so it is a bit handy, I would say, compared to any other DC barrel jack, because type C port will allow you to use power banks like 65 watts at least of power bank to charge this device. And here you can see we have this sticker that shows that this device is only suitable for Chuwi devices. And here is our main laptop, as you can see, and it is a brushed aluminum design, and the body is pretty sturdy and strong, so it will get you covered a lot, I would say. And here you can see we have this sticker, and they have very minimal branding system, so it is pretty good and solid looking as well. And here you can see we have vents for the input of the air, I mean intake of the air, and here the exhaust vent, and here we have 3.5mm jack as well. And in here you can see we have the cutout to open the lid, and on the other side you will have the power button, the indicator for the power, as well as we have two type C ports that supports display output and charging system. And also it has an indicator that will show red when it is charging and green when it is full charge. And you cannot open this by one hand, so you have to use two hands, of course, for this. And here you can see we have the device opened, and it is powered by Windows 11 Home, and Windows version is also licensed, and it is 10-point touch screen supported. So as you can see, it also has the keyboard backlit support. You can use two different level of backlit, and here the size is pretty compact and full size as well, so you won't face any issues typing on it despite it being a small laptop. So this works perfectly fine. And here you can see the display is 2K display, and it is crystal clear. And now we are going to connect this to the Wi-Fi, and we'll check the connection, as well as we will be checking the activation of this device shortly too. And before that, let's see the charging system. So here you can see we have the charger plugged in, and it has 1 hour remaining before the charge finishes. And we have the power mode set to balanced as well. You can switch between different options, like we can change to best performance if you want better performance out of it, or if you want to save the battery, you can of course switch it to balanced mode or battery saver mode as well. And here you can see we have two ports, so let's try to change the port to see if the if the type C port supports charging as well. So here I have connected it to the other port, and as you can see the red light is blinking, that means it is charging. So here is the charging confirmation as well. So yes, this is a full-sized type C port, and we can also check for the display output of this device too in a moment. And here we are checking the external display. As you can see, here is the cable that goes directly to this portable display, and the device is able to actually run it through the same Type-C port, so it does not require any additional power as well, and it seems to be working perfectly on a mirror. So I'm going to change this to extend display so that we can multitask on it and to check whether it works perfectly. And here you can see we have two displays detected perfectly, and here you can see I can move the mouse to that external display as well, so it's pretty good. And let's check more details about this displays to understand the frequency that they support. So here you can see we have the refresh rate set to 50 Hz for this particular screen, so that is one drawback of this device, I would say. And although there are tutorials and articles available that will help you change this refresh rate to 60 Hz if you want to, but I think if you use it for day-to-day use, you won't need to make this 60 Hz by boosting its refresh rate. So it is perfectly fine if you use it for regular normal use cases, because the main intention of this device is to use this for normal tasks. So here you can see we have the tablet mode of this device, and when you switch it to tablet mode by flipping it over 180 degrees, the keyboard will be deactivated so that you don't mistouch or mistype anything. So here you can see it is perfectly working as a tablet mode here, although Windows tablet mode is not as good as Android tablet mode. So unless you need it, I would say that let's use this as a tablet. Let's use this as a mini laptop instead of a tablet. So here you can see it has rotation support as well, so you can switch the screen rotation as you wish, and it should be working perfectly as well. And here you can see the configuration of this device. So it has Intel N150 processor with 12 GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 512 GB of air disk SSD. So here you can see we have all the information of this device, and I'll be connecting this to Wi-Fi to check its activation. And here you can see we have Wi-Fi 6 support with Bluetooth 5.2, so the Wi-Fi chip is pretty much latest compared to Wi-Fi 7, and of course other devices that uses Wi-Fi chips. So here you can see we have different options, and it is perfectly loading them without any delays. So for normal day-to-day tasks it is going to be serving well, and N150 is a slight upgrade to the previous predecessor N100. And here you can see I have connected to the internet with confirmation that it is an activated version of Windows 11 Home, and that's all about it. And if you want to use Linux, you can use it as well. And here you can see we have the task manager open, and here you can see all the details of everything. So we have the CPU, we have the memory and everything, so it is pretty good. And you can of course customize things. And here we have the SSD information. So the temperature currently is at 44 degrees, and it's an air disk SSD, and the protocol or interface supports PCIe 3x4 support. So we cannot use Gen 4 speed here, but you can insert Gen 4 drives, but you will still get Gen 3 speed. And here you have the CPU Z information, so that you can see more information about the RAM as well as all other hardware that we have. So it's LPDDR5 RAM as I mentioned earlier. and here is more details about everything. So you can see that it hits up to 87 degrees max, and it has active cooling system, so it will try to cool things down when it gets hot. But as it has an aluminum body, the bottom side of it gets hot when you actually hold it for a long time, as well as when you give it too much stress. And here I'm currently running the SSD speed test to see what happens, and I have noticed that the SSD temperature can go as high as 63-64 degrees Celsius, and it also goes down automatically because of probably the aluminum heatsink that works as the heat dissipation system. And here you can see the test is running. So I will try to cut down the video so that it does not get too long. And here you can see we are reaching the higher temperature now, because as this is giving stress to the SSD, it is actually getting hot as well. But the temperature gradually and most frequently goes down when the stress is put down. So here you can see we have the temperature hitting 58 degrees, but in a normal situation I would say this is a perfect temperature when you are doing normal copy paste or normal operation. So it should be perfectly fine, I think. And 62 degrees, 63 degree for an SSD is okay, I would say, but less is better, of course. But depending on your surrounding and temperature, it will be, of course, impacted by that as well. Like on a winter days, it will be actually less lot than how it is now, because my room temperature was like 30 to 31 degrees when I was testing this. So here you can see we have read-write final verdict, and here we are going to check 4K streaming as well as a frame drop test. And let's set it to 4K and open the stats for nerds for the frame drop. And as you can see, we have some frame drops here, probably because of having some issues with it, because I have used the N100 processor on a Minibook. If you have checked my previous videos on my channel, so that one did not have this much of frame drop. So I think it is undervolted so that it does not get too hot. So the N150 processor is although superior, but for this device I think they have undervolted it so that it does not actually get too hot to handle using the active cooling system, and due to that there are some frame drops. Also, it could be related to the 50 Hz screen refresh rate as well, so that could be an option, or I mean that could be a reason behind this. And let's try to change this to best performance to see if this actually makes any difference. But actually it did not make any difference. So let me refresh this here, and let's see what happens. So let's try to check the stats for nerds again, and here you can see we have frame drops again. So that is a problem for this device, and could be due to the fact that it is a 50 Hz display, and it could be also related to undervolting the processor so that it does not get too hot to handle for such a small space it has. But in a normal user point of view, I think you won't face this frame drop, or you won't understand although if there is any frame drop or not. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Please like, comment and subscribe.